Mercedes-Benz has just facelifted its flagship, the S-Class. Now, this is more than just a facelift because Mercedes say 50% of the parts in this car are all new. It gets a new set of engines, a completely new digital backbone, and a lot of styling tweaks. So let's dive in and see what's new. The chassis, suspension, and mechanicals are largely unchanged, but there's an entirely new digital architecture with some serious computing firepower. In fact, Mercedes' new operating system, or MBOS, is powered by a state of the art supercomputer that has faster processing speeds and integrates different functions of the car for a seamless experience. In fact, this computer is so powerful it has to be water cooled. With this new electronic architecture, Mercedes has future-proofed the S-Class to keep it fresh and up-to-date throughout its life cycle. The design too has been freshened up, so let's have a closer look. Now, the biggest change on the outside is the grille. This grille is huge, it's massive, it's 20% bigger than the outgoing model, and it's got these array of stars. So really a bit in your face and not as understated as before. But to keep traditionalists happy, you've got this, the three-pointer on the bonnet like it used to be before, but again, not available in a lot of markets because of crash regulations. No problems though for the Indian market where the three-pointer can survive our crash norms. So with Mercedes, not only is the car the star is also the car, and you've got the star elements right here in the headlights as well. The new star-themed headlamps use Microtech LED, blasting out up to 40% more illumination. And the drama doesn't end there. The star motif flows all the way to the rear with 3 glowing elements in the tail lamps. 3 because in Mercedes hierarchy, 3 is reserved for the absolute pinnacle of the range. Let's move to the side, and quite frankly, that is practically unchanged. Really no real changes here, though you do see these cameras again. We'll talk about that later because really a lot of tech in this car. You've got new alloy designs. These look really good. And of course, you get different alloy and wheel sizes. And for India, we are going to have the slightly high profile rubber. Those cameras are part of a much larger sensor suite. The latest S-Class comes with around 10 external cameras, 5 radar units, and a ring of ultrasonic sensors all linked to that central computer to make driving easier and safer. Let's take a look at some of that tech in action. The MB Drive Assist system offers what Mercedes calls ADAS Level 2++. It's got steering assist, lane change assist, and evasive steering functions that can help you steer around sudden obstacles. The park assist is also super advanced now. You don't need to drive past a car or rely on parking bay markings for the system to work. The moment it detects an empty spot, the sensors and cameras let the car slot itself in or pull out with minimal driver effort. There's rear wheel steering too, available with either a 4-degree or 10-degree steering angle depending on the spec, and that can cut the turning circle diameter by as much as 2 meters, making this big limo feel a lot more nimble. Another small but genuinely useful feature is the intensive cleaning function for the wipers, which ramps up the wash-wipe action, something we'll really appreciate in our heavy monsoons. But for all that tech, the real question S-Class owners will ask is how comfortable is it? So it's right here, the back seat, which is the place to be in an S-Class. But ironically, this is one area where Mercedes hasn't really made any big changes with the facelift. And that's possibly because, well, it's pretty much near perfect. You've got the cushions which are slightly optimized, but the big change here is with the control functions which you can now access via this remote, which is removable. Earlier it was just a fixed panel over here, but now it's a lot easier to control a lot of the functions of the car with just this iPhone looking like remote. So you can watch videos, you can have a video conference, you can even take a selfie. So let's talk about comfort itself. Well, You've got this absolutely luxurious back seat. As I said, perfect cushioning, superb under thigh support. Of course, you've got all the adjustments here, which we'll come to later. But I think the underlying comfort factor comes from that really plush ride. And with just the press of a button, you can really stretch out, like going from business class to first class. The advanced aircon with its high-tech air filtration can also be controlled completely from the rear, and it regularly refreshes cabin air to keep the atmosphere clean. It's really hard to beat this level of comfort on four wheels. The door pads and center console have been subtly redesigned and, as you'd expect, are finished to an extremely high standard. But it's from the driver's seat that the biggest changes hit you straight away. Now, the big change over the old S-Class is really the onboard tech. You've got this massive super screen which consists of three individual displays. Gone is that portrait unit which the earlier S-Class have. So you've got a 12.3-inch screen for the driver and the co-driver, and a massive 14.4 screen as the central unit. Of course, again, what's new is the new operating system, the MBOS. So really you can see that the graphics are completely new. They are rich, crisp, everything really works with lightning speed because the amount of processing power this S-Class has is just unbelievable. The infotainment is feature-packed and there's plenty to play with. You can cycle through up to 400 ambient lighting colors, choose different themes for different moods, like in a Tesla. There are also built-in games to keep your chauffeur entertained while he's waiting for you. Plus, customizable profiles that remember your seat, climate and lighting preferences every time you get in. The aircon controls are buried in the screen, and even the center vents are adjustable via the screen. I would have preferred adjusting them physically, but that's what you can do with the side vents and even shut them off completely. The good thing is that the Hey Mercedes voice assistant works really well. So for most common functions, you can simply ask the car to do it instead of digging through menus. Hey Mercedes.
Yes?
Turn the temperature down to 19 degrees.
I'm reducing the temperature to 19 degrees.
Overall, it's a very digital-heavy cabin that some traditional S-Class buyers might find a bit too much. But crucially, Mercedes has brought back some key physical controls, and not every function is dependent on the screen. A welcome change is the return of some hard buttons. So really nice tactile feel over here. Even the volume controller is a nice scroll. You've got the cruise control button again, which is a nice toggle switch. You've still got some of these touch haptic controls, which I have to say work much better than in the previous S-Class. The driver's seat may not be top priority for most S-Class owners, but plenty of them will still want to get behind the wheel and see what's changed. With this facelift, Mercedes has given the S-Class a new set of engines. And really the talking point is a plug-in hybrid that will be a first for the Indian market. In fact, the launch edition will have just the plug-in hybrid of 450e. It will also get a base petrol engine and possibly even a diesel. What we're driving right now is the base petrol, the 450, about 404 horsepower. And this engine, again, Mercedes says, has been upgraded. It meets future emission norms, so EU7 and BS7 whenever that comes in. And of course, it has been refined quite a bit as well. Improvements to this 3-litre 6-cylinder engine include a more powerful electric turbo, revised valve timing on the intake side, and a torque bump to 600 Newton meters. It gets an overboost function that can briefly raise that to around 640 Newton meters when you really floor it. This is a 6-cylinder unit, but it is silky smooth, very creamy, and really the power delivery is typically S-Class. It really gathers space in a very graceful way, no neck-snapping acceleration at all to keep its occupants calm and serene. So really the S-Class is all about low pulse rate travel. And here I am on the German Autobahns, Well, there's a speed limit here, 120 k's, and the engine is ticking over at just 1,500 RPM. So really, this car is all about comfort, all about refinement, and that's really what defines Mercedes' flagship. There's better underbody insulation too, which really cuts out road and engine noise. But I have to say that at Autobahn speeds, there is a wee bit of wind noise around the A-pillar. The real talking point of this updated S-Class though is the plug-in hybrid, a first for Mercedes in India. That's the variant Mercedes wants to lead with for the launch edition, and the 450e in particular is meant to make a statement as the brand's new tech flagship in India. So now I've slipped behind the wheel of the hybrid S-Class. Now this one is the 580e. This one won't be coming to India. We'll be getting the 450e, but this just gives you a taste of things to come. Firstly, it is super smooth. You've got about 100 kilometers of range on pure electric. That really is a magic figure for plug-in hybrids because you can really use it as an EV. And frankly, that's what Mercedes wants, because to be honest, the EQS really didn't succeed in India. And this, in a way, is Mercedes' answer of an electric luxury flagship. This is, in a way, Mercedes' answer to the BMW i7. So you've got about 100 kilometers of all-electric range. Right now, I've got about 42% of charge and over 30 k's left. So really, it's very, very practical for short runs. It's very, very quick too, and the 580e has a system output of 585 horsepower and 700 Newton meters, which is more than what most owners will know what to do with. The 450e is not as potent, but will be just as responsive, just as smooth, and will deliver its 435 horses in the same stepless linear way. Combining the 6-cylinder engine with a strong electric motor is a big advantage. And really, it's these combinations which give you phenomenal performance and fantastic refinement and the best of both worlds, which is you don't have to worry about range anxiety. You get fantastic EV range, all-electric range in the city, so you can use it as an EV. But this combination also is very, very pricey. Don't forget, you're carrying the weight or the cost of both the engine and the hybrid, and there is no GST benefit yet for hybrids. So that's really going to have an impact on the price. And quite frankly, the success of the 450e, Mercedes' first all plug-in hybrid car in India, is going to depend a lot on the price. And pricey is what the S-Class is likely to be. With so much more tech and a depreciating rupee, expected to cost considerably more than the outgoing one. The good thing for Mercedes is that for many of its owners, the extra outlay is still pocket change.